Saturday, June 17th, 2 days later.
Take caution in your tone, Commander. I'm a fair guy, but this heat is making me absolutely crazy.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
I ain't scared of you.
Or who we thought they were! And we let them go!
You can't have my cornbread, that's for damn sure. But if you try to take my cornbread, part two of my killer spree gonna begin up in here on your ass right now. Thinking about my cornbread, get the taste out your mouth.
Greetings and salutations. You know who it is. It's me, the King, David B., and this is the David Brewer Show. And we're coming to you live. Well, I should say we, but I and those around me, which is my baby girl and my lovely wife and anybody else that busts in the door, because this is a very open studio session, which means I have no studio and I have no session, really. I create my studio and session as I please and where I go and however I do. Thank you very much. There's reasons why people like me want to get on the skills, a microphone, and broadcast themselves. Because one, we think we have all kinds of intelligence. Two, we'd like to inform people. Three, we like to entertain people. Four, we got issues. And that's the truth. And that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so. Now, pay attention to this. I'm watching the doggone House Judiciary Committee go in on Mueller about his findings of Donald Trump. They're trying to find something that would claim or finalize the idea that Donald Trump should be impeached. You see every Democrat going in like, you know that you said this, right? Didn't you say it? Didn't you say it? And then you see the Republicans. Every Republican is like, you didn't say it, did you? No, that didn't happen. So it's like watching. Mueller is like a little baby. He's like a little child, and two parents are arguing with each other to the little child. That's what I see. It's very interesting. He's talking. One, he looks like a very old man. I'm sorry, and I don't mean this. That's not any disrespect to him, but he looks like a very old guy who's kind of, if he is, if he is firing on all cylinders. Forgive me, Mueller, but he looks like an old man he's not firing on all cylinders at this point in time. He's not quick in many ways, but I think he's also he's kind of doing that on purpose. So he might be firing all cylinders in a different way. I believe he's trying to conduct himself in the proper way as being in front of the House Judiciary Committee. So I'm trying to listen and talk at the same time. Because, and yawn. Look, it's interesting to watch this, okay? Now, I'm watching it because this is like must-see TV at this point in time. And it's a must-see TV given the fact that, and here goes Roman that just busted in the door. That's my other baby son. Yeah, but you see? Okay, buddy. No, you're not getting the skills. You're not getting the microphone. So, as we're watching this Mueller, we're watching Mueller testify. Like I said, the Republicans are saying, "Hey, you did everything right. Donald Trump is a wonderful human being, And the Democrats are saying, hey, you did everything right. No, the Republicans are saying you did everything wrong and Donald Trump is a wonderful human being. The Democrats are saying you did everything right and Donald Trump is a horrible human being. And that's basically the argument. It's really, the idea that I don't even know, I honestly myself don't see the purpose of this testimony because they're actually asking him questions and then answering them for him. So, like I said, it's like two parents talking to their child. One parent agrees with one side, the other parent agrees with the other side. So it's the point of this committee and Mueller so-called testimony is pointless because it's really just a bunch of people asking and then answering their own questions. Do you see? He can't really answer questions the way he would like to because as soon as they ask him a question, he's trying to explain his answer, and then it's like, no, answer my question. Okay, hold again. I got to put you on hold one more time. No, I got to show you this live. Let me see what you have in your bowl, please. Okay. So there's two, people yelling at this man. Essentially yelling. And they claim they want to get information, but there's no information really to get.
They did not conspire with anybody from Russia to affect the election. And they see the big Justice Department.
Like I said, it's so stupid and silly. What is the purpose of this? This doesn't make me want to, I think any fool can see that Donald Trump has some issues. Any slow, challenged, retard can see that So, and Mueller's funny. He's a funny guy. So forgive me, Mueller, for saying that you're not firing on all cylinders. I think he's funny. It's okay, honey girl. I think this is funny. And it's always good to have a live show. People are afraid to have live shows because they're afraid of what might happen. Like, hey, I gotta edit that out and bleep that out. But no. Like I said, I'm watching the Republicans. The Republicans are mad. Like, didn't you say this? You said, and it's just kind of. I don't get it. The Democrats are reading from the thing, saying, "So you said this, and then said that, and you said that." So I don't really get what they're trying to prove. If they want to go through with the impeachment, go through with it. If you don't, then don't. But he's not saying anything else that he didn't write. So there's no purpose really to have this little hearing that they're so-called are having. It's silly. It's pointless. And is a waste of my time? Not really. It gives me something to talk about on my show. Thank you. You're on the David Brewer Show. And those are the kids out there playing in the morning. So, but let's speak on why they really want to crucify Donald Trump. Is he a bad president? I can't say that he's a bad president. I think he's a kind of an idiot. Can I say that? He's not a bad president. He's just kind of an idiot or a putz or that's all he is. He's not I wouldn't call him a bad president. He just says a lot of stupid things. He says a lot of idiotic things. He says a lot of putsy things. He says a lot of racist things. Maybe he doesn't. I'll put it like this: he might not say anything that's overtly racist. He says things that have like racist innuendos. He says indirectly racist things. And he sides, I would say, with people who are, in fact, racist. So that's the efficiency or the that's how he could be considered bad. And if you want to call it, he's just as kind of a person that hates people. You say is he sexist? Yeah, that's what people say. I would say he's sexist. He's egotistical. What the movie 9 to 5? One of my favorite movies. On the movie the girls in there tie up their boss, and they have the imaginations after they smoke a joint. They having these imaginations, and they talking about what they would do to him, to the boss, Mr. Hart, right? And then they say on there, who is it? Is it Judy? He says, "You're a sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot." Essentially, that's who Donald Trump is. Donald Trump is, what was his name? F.C. Hart or whatever his name. C.F. Hart. He's Mr. Hart on 9 to 5. He's a sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot. Now, what does Hart say on that movie? He said, "So I have a few faults. Who doesn't?" Oh my gosh! I refer you to the 9 to 5 movie. Yes, 9 to 5 is hilarious. It's funny. I would say if you watch 9 to 5, you can gauge who Donald Trump is by watching who Mr. Hart is. That's a very good, how can I say, comparison in personalities and in mindset. Would be Mr. Hart. I don't remember what was it. What was it called? It was called Consolidated. That was the business. And it's just, like I said, it's so interesting that he said, "So I have a few faults. Who doesn't?" And that's what it is that it's clear that President Trump is he is those things. He's a sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot. Does that make him a bad president? It makes him I think it makes him kind of a bad person. I can't really say as a president that he's just bad, because I believe we've had, now in my lifetime, I've been around. I was a child when Reagan was the president. I was a child when Bush was president. The George Bush Sr. I was a child. I was a child when Clinton was president, and I believe I was able to vote for the first time when Gore. I believe I was able to vote for the first time when Gore ran against H.W. Bush. That was the first time. Love you too. My wife is leaving. She has an interview. So let's wish her luck.
Should I wear open-toe shoes in the interview?
Like sandals?
Yeah.
I would hope that you would be professional enough to wear. Yeah, thank you. My wife asked me if she should wear open toe, like sandal type shoes to a job interview, and I'm like, not unless you direct from the ghetto, from the projects, and from the trailer parks. Are you going to go in there smacking gum and rocking a headband too? I mean, come on. So, where was I at? Was I talking about President Trump? Yes. I was talking about President Trump, but I was also talking about the fact that he's not I can't in good conscience call him a bad president. He's just kind of a bad person. You know what I'm saying? He's just kind of a negative person. who is selfish, and I honestly believe that he would do whatever would make him look better and be better and do better. I think really he's just, at this point in time, I think he's trying to win. I never believed that he was trying to become the president in the first place. I think his actions and his antics are consistent with someone who is acting out, who really is not trying to do anything in the best interest of anybody, really, other than himself. So I don't really believe that he cares if he stays the president. I don't think he cares. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's to him, it just doesn't, I don't get that from him. I don't see that in him. I don't get that he really cares whether or not he is the president of the United States. I think he is the president of the United States. So at this point in time, so he's kind of rolling with it. And he's just doing whatever because he doesn't care. That's the person. When somebody doesn't care if they get fired, they don't care if they keep the job. That means they do whatever the heck they feel like doing. Look, I don't care if you fire me, so I'm gonna do whatever. I've been at that stage. Many people have been at that stage. Many people. I ain't gonna say black folk. I'm saying white folk. Many people have been in the stage where they didn't care whether or not they got fired on one day or multiple occasions. I don't care if that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it this way. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Look, sometimes when people do that, the higher ups will say, I like the fact that you have this cavalier, I don't give two flicks attitude. The flip side of that is you have people that say, man, they don't do nothing. They just do whatever they want to do, and they ain't following no rules. And sometimes they get fired, and sometimes you don't. But that's what it is. President Trump doesn't care about being the president of the United States. He doesn't really care. He doesn't care about it. He's rocking with it because it's fun. It's a fun thing. It's fun for him right now at this point in time. It's fun. It's entertaining. And that's that is strange and crazy. But I mean, so the idea that they're having this discussion with Mueller, who one is not going to talk about anything. He's not really offering anything new. He's not really embellishing on his report that's even old. He's not really doing anything. There's no purpose to this doggone Judiciary Committee testimony by what's his name, Robert Mueller. So it's pointless. Now this doesn't affect who I vote for, because right as we speak of right now, there's no one specifically running against President Trump by themselves. It's President Trump, and right now it's President Trump and the Democratic Party. That's pretty much what it is. Now I am an independent. I am a sheer fire independent. You say I would put myself in a moderate position. I don't think I'm conservative. I don't think I'm liberal. I think I'm a little bit of both. I think I'm a great mixture of both. I think I'm a clear-cut independent. I have a problem when people go too far conservative. I don't know what that. I don't know the difference between left and right. I know the difference between my left and right, but I'm always confused about lefts and rights when they start talking about lefts. When they start talking about lefts and rights, I'm ambidextrous. Ambidextrous. But I'm saying I don't know the difference between my left and right. When it comes to politics, like to me, it seems like the same. Really, but I'm not. Whenever somebody is too far conservative, or somebody is too liberal, I think there's a problem because it's clear that you have extreme issues. You understand what I'm saying? If you're one extreme or the other extreme, I don't care if you left or right, you still are extreme. So it doesn't make a difference what you are extreme in. It's still extreme. So I have a problem with these people who are questioning this man, and they're just trying so hard to sound. To me, they're trying so hard to sound like they know what they're talking about. One, and that is necessary too. And I think the American people teaching. It's really, like I said, it's a bad argument. Husband arguing with a wife, parents arguing with a child, or talking to their child. It's that, like I said, it's just pointless. It's an argument that nobody is ever going to win. It's just talk for the sake of talking. The fact that I think that if you want to bring charges up on the president, then you do it. If you want to try to impeach him, you do it. I guess they're trying to gain momentum. I honestly see it. I do see it as a political ploy. Here you go, Republicans. I see it as a political ploy to try and rope some Americans in on whether or not they should vote for Trump in the next election. I don't believe that it has anything to do with. I don't think they know. I don't think they know. I don't think they know. Yeah, I don't think they know. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought because baby girl is crying. I got a text message, and I'm trying to watch this all at the same time. But I don't think they know what it is that they're trying to do. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they know what it is that they want to do. Like I said, they're trying to bring about some type of cause or case. But it's not, like I said, it really I think has more to do with the election coming up than it does actually impeaching the president. I think if you don't have enough evidence by now, you're not going to get any evidence today. So this Mueller thing is just really, like I said, pointless. President Trump was, like I said, he's just he's just kind of an idiot. So that's the only thing that he has that's going. I wouldn't elect him president. I don't think he should have been elected president. There's no question about that. And I think he was elected president based on the fact that many Americans that voted in the election, in the Obama election, both elections with Obama, I think sat out this election thinking to themselves, well, I don't like Hillary, but and I don't care about Trump, so I don't care, I ain't gonna vote. And then when Trump got elected, it was, how you gonna, he ain't my president, blah, 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 blah. So I think the people who didn't vote feel stupid now. Like, you feel stupid because you didn't vote. That's pretty much what it is. You feel dumb because you didn't vote. And the dude that you didn't want to look, you might not have liked Hillary, but you definitely didn't want Trump to be in there. So the dude you didn't want to win won because your dumb tail stayed home. And you say, well, I didn't want to vote for Hillary either. Well, the difference between Hillary and Trump is in fact why you're upset. It would have been, essentially business as usual. And Trump, you want to think that he's not a part of the machine, and he's not a politician. And yeah, he's not a politician in speeches, but he's a very astute politician behind closed doors. I think that the people who who see with their eyes, don't think with their brains. It's like my children, and many kids nowadays. They watched a TV show, and you ask them what happened on the show. You ask them about the characters. You ask them about the plot. You ask them to tell you details, and they can't really present to you many details because they're turning their brains off while they're watching. And that's pretty much what's going on here. Is people are watching and turning their brains off, and it's like, basically they're looking for cheers. They're looking for the one-liners. They're looking for the what do you call it, the Facebook quotes and the Instagram posts and the what do you call them, the Twitter feed posts. They're looking for these things, and that's all they're basing stuff on. Oh, Donald Trump is not like every other. He's not a politician. He's not a politician. He's not a politician. And that's why I hear a lot of people saying that voted for Donald Trump, who clearly he's not for, but they voted for him because he was famous. He was famous outside of politics. That's really the reason that these people voted for him. He was famous outside of politics, so their thought process was, he's not a politician. But the truth of the matter is, Donald Trump is a shrewd politician, and that's how he's gotten a lot of his business deals done in life. It's through political connections and things of that nature. So the idea that he's not a politician, it's only the idea of the few that are ridiculously stupid. Republicans knew that he's a good politician. They just didn't expect him to win because he was just saying stupid crap. That's just plain and simple. People didn't expect him to win because he was up there not trying to win, essentially. He just didn't care. He was just like, I'm just going to do it, and I'm just going to go ahead and do this and say this. And either they're going to do it or either they're going to elect me or they're not. So when he won, everybody was like, oh my gosh. And then, thus the idea of let's try to find a way to get him out of there. You think it's only the Democrats trying to find a way to get him out of there. But the Republicans are sneakily trying to find a way to get him out of there too. So, like I said, Republicans, these people work together. Republicans and Democrats work together. They're divided on this issue because they're divided on the issue because they want to stay in power. The Republicans do, and they don't care. It's by any means necessary as it pertains to the government.
That's exactly what Bill Barr's doing. Thank goodness for that. That's exactly what the Attorney General and John Durham were doing.
So,
why we went through this 3-year saga and get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. So, I was listening to Jordan talk, Mr. Jordan, one of the people in the House Judiciary Committee. But it's crazy and foolish. And it is once again, we're here for the simple fact is that people want to find something, anything. But I think you need to let it go. I think it's time to let it go. Just let the man run. He's running for president. Look, Donald Trump does a good job of putting his foot in his mouth. The problem is the American public who's voting him in doesn't care. So they don't care about this either. They don't care if you found Donald Trump with a knife in his hand stabbing 3 people. They'll find a way to say that he stabbed them with for a reason. Like no, it was to see if these people hadn't put their body in front of the knife. It wouldn't have stabbed them in that way. The stabs only came because they thrust it into him. He didn't stab them. That's pretty much the mentality of the Trump supporter. There is no actual intelligent state of mind. The Trump supporter has no intelligent state of mind as it pertains to Donald Trump because they're basically just making whatever up. It doesn't matter what he says. It doesn't matter what he does. He can commit as many. He can break as many laws as he wants to. He can commit as many infractions as he wants to. He can be racist. He can be sexist. He can be egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot. He can, you know what I'm saying? He can do all that. It won't make a difference because his supporters will find a way to say that no, it's the Democrats' fault. And that's my whole thing. Is everything is just saying, no, the Democrats just want the Democrats. But what about people who aren't Democrat? You know, what about people like me who I don't have a favorite team really. You know, I root for who I want to root for that day. I'm saying I don't have a real favorite team. There's teams I like and I root for all the time, but I don't have a favorite team in that way. You know. And I'm saying it because it's that mentality that no matter what your team does, you know, I'm going to roll with them type of thing. And that is where you have the Trump supporters who don't care. They say the Republican Party, I believe, have to back him lock, stock, and barrel because, you know, they don't want to be out of power. This is more of a power play than it is about Donald Trump and the Republican Party. But in a sense, I believe the Republican Party, they don't care if they lose. You know, to them, I guess they're not losing any credibility. They don't care if they lose anything in this going on. Because what's taking place right now is the Republican Party is really making enemies of many Americans and making enemies of many, I would say the majority of America that they're making enemies of. Like I said, what you have with Donald Trump is you're making friends with other people who are extremists. You're making friends with people who are extremists in this country. Who's the guy who bombed the Oklahoma? Timothy McVeigh? He's an extremist. There was a guy who bombed the World Trade Center in like the 90s, right? Like I said, you have these extremists in this country who will shoot up churches, who will shoot inside of movie theaters, who will bomb federal buildings. You have extremists that will go to these ends, these lengths of doing these things. They're not minorities. They're white Americans. You have these extremists in this country, and these are Trump supporters. These are the Trump supporters, and that's the idea of, okay, how can we win? Okay, let's be extreme. Let's be so extreme that we get all the extreme people to come out of the woodworks. They don't have to hide anymore. For the vast majority, they don't have to hide anymore as it pertains to voting. You know, let's give them a voice. Let's give them a platform. Let's give them a person who's backing them in a sense, and that's how we can get connected to the other Americans who are sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical, and bigots. You know, let's on top of them, let's get these other extremists. If we get these two groups together, we can win. And that's essentially what they did. That's what the Republican Party did with Donald Trump. They put those two groups together, and then Donald Trump got a win. Now you add that to the idea that they were. I said you add that to let's make the people who voted for Donald Trump not vote for Hillary Clinton. You understand? So let's make her look even worse. Let's make her look incompetent. Let's make her look like she is a horrible person. And that's essentially what they did. And Hillary Clinton is not an attractive woman. She's not. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Hillary Clinton ain't cute. If Hillary Clinton was an attractive woman, America would have voted for her. See, you guys think America is. You think that we Americans are are really about principle. When most of us are cynical, and most of us are very shallow. So we go with things that are pretty, and what's good for you is good for me. We do that. That's American. You talking about American principle? That's American principle at its finest. What's good for you is good for me, and if you're not pretty, you shouldn't be there. You know, if you're not popular, you shouldn't be there. You know, that's American values at its best. Haven't you watched all the high school movies? Haven't you watched these movies? Like I love movies. Movies can tell things, but essentially, it's how people act. I forget who made that quote, but he said, "Life intimidates art. Or intimidates life." I can't think of the word right now. It imitates. Life imitates art. I agree with that to a certain extent because I also believe that art imitates life. I think it's gotten, it's a blurred line between life and art. What you think is true is not true, and what you think is not real is real. So it's just so interesting because like I said, we're voting. They got people not to vote for Hillary Clinton, who was so overly qualified that she didn't get the job. This is what happens in America as well, right? When you go to a job and you have 15 years experience and they want somebody who has 1 year so they don't have to pay you as much. Or they want somebody who has no experience. That way they don't have to pay you. You're overqualified for the position that you've applied for. Hillary Clinton was an overqualified person. Excuse me, she was overqualified. Oh, well, your husband was already here. You're overqualified, and we didn't know these things about you before. They've made you look bad, and you're not cute on TV. So that's really what it is. If Hillary Clinton wore some nice outfits and was, like I said, was a cutie pie. If she was a pretty, like Sarah Palin was cute. She was just not smart. Let's be real. Sarah Palin was cute. She was just stupid. Okay. And she was trying to run against. She ran against the wrong people. She was trying to run against. She was running against somebody she couldn't beat. Sarah Palin trying to run against McCain and Trump. McCain and Obama and stuff. Yeah, there's no way she could have. Yeah, that was she. There's no way she could have did it. It's not going. But Sarah Palin was cutie. She was a cutie pie. She was. So people like Sarah Palin. You think hey. No ifs, ands, people like Sarah Palin. She was kind of she was a little off. I ain't gonna call her stupid because she's clearly an intelligent person. But she said a lot of dumb stuff. But she was pretty, and I'm saying that's kind of why people it was cool. That's why she was able to do what she was doing. If Sarah Palin was a little bit more intelligent. Played up to being a little bit more intelligent. If she didn't come across as kind of a ditz, she might have been something. But at that time, I don't think people were really ready for a woman to be a president anyway. But Sarah Palin had the looks, and she had a sense, a little bit of the personality. She's no different than her intelligence level to me is not much different from Donald Trump. She's probably a nicer person. She might not be a sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot. She just, like I said, her intelligence level is probably about the same as Donald Trump. But Donald Trump is just a mean person. Just mean and hate-filled and all that other good stuff. But don't think that Donald Trump doesn't embody American values. We look at American values and think American values are, trust, honesty, integrity, and that's not American values. That's biblical principle. Those are. Lord forgive me because I don't think biblical and principle are the same. Those are godly values: integrity, honesty, trust, love. those are all uh, uh, followers of Christ values. America likes to say that those are American values as if we are somehow children of God, all of us, because the American values state, and American values is really dishonesty. It's really, and that's one of American values. I said it's cynicism. It's cynical. What's good for you is good for me. In a sense, if you got it that way, I don't care. I'm gonna get mine too. So if you got it that way, I can get it this way. So that's you got money, I want money. It's envy. That's envy. That's coveting. These are things that are not. They don't. That's a lot of Americans. I know the ideal that you would like, the theory. In theory, America. I would think most people would want their values to be integrity and honesty and those those good things. But the truth of the matter is, many Americans, if not most Americans, value money, and they don't care how they get it. They value the idea of success. What they value is, I want more. I want what he has. He has a big house. I want a big house. I should have a big house. He has a big car. Why can't I have a big car? He has, a beautiful wife. I want a beautiful wife. That's kind of what it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Those are the true American values. That's the true American value. Now, like I said, the theory and the ideals that I believe this country was supposed to be founded on have never truly been manifested. They've never truly been. They've never truly been lived up to and lived out on. Never has truly been that way. And that's the thing that, you would think that somebody who is not, in the political machine would seek to adhere to. The political machine goes against actual American values. That's the thing. But it's clear to me, as Trump being in office and these years that we've seen the people that support him, it's clear to me that what we call American values don't truly exist. And they can't, as long as we are electing a man who is a sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot. There's no way that having a president who is Mr. Hart from 9 to 5 is going to make us as Americans look good. It's impossible. This Mueller investigation, this Mueller testimonies, pointless to the point of no end. Stop. It needs to stop. And let's just get out and vote and do what we know we can do. All right. This is the David Brewer Show. I am King David B. Thank you for joining me. I'm out.
Absolutely crazy. Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40! I ain't scared of you. Or who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook. You can't have my cornbread, that's for damn sure. But if you try to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree won't begin up in here on your ass right now. Think about my cornbread. You see, I love the Lord. You understand what I'm saying? I love the Lord, and if loving the Lord is wrong, I don't want to be right.